Welcome to the Molten Muffin Baking Show. Today we're going to be taking some copper I collected from a scrap dealer, and we're going to be making copper muffins. The first step I have is to chop all these copper wires and make them into smaller pieces so that I can actually fit them into the crucible. So I'm chopping all of these with a bolt cutter. They don't quite chop as easily as some softer metals like aluminum, but they can still be chopped off and put in the bucket. I want to get them all in here so that I can get them a little cleaner and then also have them because they are covered with dirt and dust. Alright, next I spray some water in there, brush around a bit, and I get most of that dirt and dust out of there. I want to then put them into the kiln. So I take this kiln that's been preheated and I start stuffing them into this kiln, backing them down, and get ready to melt them. Now copper melts slower than a lot of other metals, and this is because it has to heat up to quite a high temperature. Copper has a melting point of 1984 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1085 degrees Celsius, which is quite high when you compare it to other metals. This is kind of almost the top of the melting point that my kiln can handle. So I'm packing in more copper, and you can see I'm speeding through it. The process just packing it down and sticking more in there, mixing it up, letting it soften up a bit and packing it down. At this point, really almost none of it has melted. It's just softening up, and I'm packing it down and softening up and packing it down, getting it packed in there. Alright, and I'm getting ready to get it all melted up. Copper is interesting because it oxidizes, and it's kind of famous for being this really pretty color as a metal, but then it kind of oxidizes in the air slowly to produce a brown or green color, which is really pretty. What we're going to see here is a much faster oxidization process where it's going to oxidize quickly and it's going to produce a mostly black color. Alright, at this point I am getting my cast iron muffin tin ready, and I'm going to get it a little warmer so it's not as big of a hit when it pours in. I take the crucible and I'm stirring it a bunch to make sure it's nice and liquid. You can see that it's starting to collect on that piece of rebar, and then I take it out and I pour it slowly into this muffin tin. You can see it's a nice pretty liquid, nice and bright and shiny. Alright, get the rest of it. And I want to get the rest of it out of there because there's a bunch more. And so I will go ahead and throw it back into the furnace. And then I can turn the gas back on, and because it's still hot, it'll instantly catch on fire. After cooling it down for a little while, I take it, drop it down, drop out these muffins, and you can see they're black with the oxidization already. They're super hot, and they will remain hot for a while, for a couple hours, maybe an hour or so. So later I take them and I go ahead and I polish off the oxidization, and I want to make them nice and pretty, so you can see that that pretty copper color is underneath the oxidization. Gotta watch out because you can cut yourself pretty easily with this kind of a polishing method. And I do nick myself a few times. And here we go. After a bit of polishing, we now have a mostly polished up muffin. So this is my copper muffin. It looks really pretty. I think it's the prettiest metal there is. but it looks really pretty, and maybe I need a little more polishing. And you can see it right next to the black one, which is just the oxidized. Anyway, thank you for watching.